So we know that Godot's main version is Godot 4, but let's not forget Godot 3. Recently, Godot 3.6 Beta 3 was released and it's full of new amazing features. Today we'll be checking them all out, and now let's start. So here firstly in the post, we're gonna read some important information. The core of the Godot development focus is on the upcoming Godot 4.2, currently with the third dev snapshot, but we haven't forgotten about the 3.5 release, which has a slow but steady influx of important bug fixes, platform improvement, and rendering features. Godot 3 is still very important for a significant part of the ecosystem. So this is basically what I was talking about earlier in the introduction. That Godot 4 is like always being updated, but Godot 3 was kind of forgotten. So well, with this new beta 3 for the 3.5 version, it's gonna have some improvements. So here we have the main highlights of this new version. We have here, for example, 2D hierarchical cooling. We also have 2D physics interpolation. So those two are the most important highlights. But here in the what's new section, you can check all the relevant improvements in this version. Now let's actually go to the downloads, okay? As usual, we have the version with GDScript support and also the one with C# support. In my case, I'm gonna download the standard build. Here in this list, you're gonna look for your version. In my case is Windows 64, but for example here we have the version for Android and the version for Windows, for Linux. As always, this is just a compressed file that will have to wait a couple of seconds. Once you have your file downloaded, you're gonna double click it. And well, here you'll find the executable and also the console, okay? Of course, we want to open the executable. We wait again just a couple of seconds. So all the interface here is the exact same one. We have the local projects and also the asset library projects, okay? Well, I actually have here a missing game, so I'm just gonna remove it. At the top we can see the version. So okay, let's now create a new game. Okay, I'm gonna leave the renderer as default. I'm gonna create a new folder in my project path and give it the name, for example 3.5. Okay, and I'm gonna click here create and edit. As usual, it loads super fast. And well, as usual, we have the 2D and 3D environment, and everything seems to be working just fine. We also have the scripts and well, everything like that. But let's now create something very basic to just try out if the version is working well or not. So in order to do that, I'm gonna create a node, and inside this node, I'm gonna create two sprites. Actually 3 sprites, but just in a second, because I'm gonna load the icon and I'm gonna duplicate it 2 times. Then I'm gonna move my first icon right here, my second icon here, and my third my first one will be here, second one here, and third one here. What I want to do is to change its modulate, okay, this property right here, the modulate, which basically changes like the color of the image. So if I press some keys on my keyboard, I'm gonna change the different modulates of the different sprites. So let's create a new script, an empty script. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. And well, right here, firstly, I would like to, in my ready function, which is called as soon as we start playing the game, I'm gonna print some very basic message, for example, subscribe to the channel. It's exactly what you should do right now. Then I'm gonna save my scene, and then I'm gonna click play. I haven't selected a main scene. A main scene is the one that is run when we start playing, so my only scene is this one, so I'm gonna select it as my current one. I'm gonna here allow the access, and well, here we have our game, and on the output we can see the message, so everything's working fine. Now that we have checked that, we can delete this function, and actually we're gonna create the process function, which is gonna be used to actually manage the different inputs. So firstly, if we are pressing dot is key pressed, in this case it's gonna be key 1. If we are pressing the key 1, we're gonna change the color of the first one to red, for example. Then if we are pressing the 2, we're gonna change the second one to blue, for example. Finally, if we press the if we press the 3, we are gonna change the third one to yellow. Okay, so here I have to check this name: sprite 2, sprite 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. So when I start playing and I press the 1, this modulate should be like this. The second one should be like this, blue, like this, and the third one should be yellow, something like this. I also can notice that the order isn't correct, because as you can see, this is the third one and it's in the center. It doesn't make sense. So the sprite 2 should be right here, and the sprite 3 should be right here. Now let's click play. Well, I should actually first reset all the colors. And now, yes, I wanna press 1, 2, and 3. So indeed, everything is working just fine. I have here in the debugger an error. The argument delta is never used in the function process. And well, in order to fix this, as you can see, we can prefix it with an underscore. So we're gonna do that. Play again, 1, 2, 3, and as you can see, this time we didn't receive any kind of error or warning. Now, another thing that I would really like to try out is the web editor of this version. In order to go to the web editor, we go to the post, and here you can also try the web editor. We click there. As you can see here, we have the version, and here we just click start editor. Okay, here we have again the same interface. I'm gonna create a new project, give it a name, create a folder, and click there, create and edit. After like 3 or 4 seconds, the project was created. That's just amazing, because if you have tried the web editor previously, you would know that the web editor usually used to take like maybe 30 seconds, 40 seconds to just load the project, and now it takes like 3-4 seconds only. I'm gonna do something very similar to the one that we created in the desktop version. Just a base node with 3 sprites. Okay, sprites with the icon. Okay, here we have the first one, and 2 copies like this. Then in my desktop version, as I have the code, I'm gonna just copy it, and then here I'm gonna again create a script, an empty script, and paste the code right here. Okay, Then I'm gonna zoom in a little bit because I can see nothing. And well, everything should be okay. Now let's click here, play. Again, I have to select the main scene, so I'm gonna select the current one. But before selecting the current one, I'm gonna save the scene. And now yes, select current. Okay, so I'm gonna press 1, 2, and 3. Everything is completely fine. So this is all for today's video. Subscribe to the channel to be the first one of knowing the latest Godot news, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.